Howdy, folks. Welcome back to another episode of RNP What Sold. This is for I guess, the second half of June 2021. I haven't done one of these in a few weeks, so I thought I'd go through some of my more interesting sales. Let's get right into it. Okay, first of all, I have 1/6 scale clothing. It's actually armor. It says, I titled it Ancient Soldier Roman Gladiator Model Skirt. Looks like a plastic skirt about 1.5 inches long by about 1 inch for an action figure doll, and sold for $27.67 out the door. I have pennies into this. I have so much of this stuff, like I've said in the past, but it's always fun to see these sell because it's like weighs maybe 1 ounce, easy to list and easy to store. All right, next up, t-shirt. Selling a lot of clothing, a lot of t-shirts, tank top, shorts. Recently, this was a Coachella collection Aztec t-shirt, sold for $54.22. Picked this up from the thrift store for about $2.99, probably about 3 months ago. And this is from H&M, so it's nothing fancy. Mass-produced shirt, just happened to have Coachella on it. And whenever I see anything music concert related, I pick it up. So $54.22 out the door. Let's see here. Let's skip a couple of these. It's a brand. This is clothing still, but I wanted to look out for Fox. They're into more motorsports and outdoors, sports. This is for cyclists. It's just a basic tank top, nothing fancy. They sold for $25.98 out the door, and I had, I believe, $1.99 into this one. So Fox sports related stuff always does well for me. All right, so let's move away from clothing. This is a lot of Skylanders that I've had for over a year. 29 Skylanders, Swap Force, Trap Team, Superchargers, all that good stuff. Sold for $35.15. I took a best offer on this one. And actually, just to preface this, a lot of my videos, somebody asked me why the prices are off. I take a lot of best offers, so in the picture, it may say one price, and whatever I'm actually verbally saying, that's what it actually sold for. Sometimes more because of shipping, and sometimes less because I took a best offer, which is less. So this sold for $35.15. I had this listed for a long time, over a year, I'd say. And I'm not the biggest fan of Skylanders that are not sealed and not specific ones. This was just like a group of random 29 of them. So anyways, glad to see it go. All right, next up, this is a hat. This is a vintage Hawaiian hat, nothing fancy. Snapback that I've had for a long time, not even sure how long. Sold for $15.98 out the door, plus shipping, and including shipping. And this one I thought would do a lot better. It didn't, it just sat, so happy to see it go. Okay. Let's see what else is here. It's a little bit more interesting. Okay, this is a Fisher Price. It says Friend Doll Fashions baseball outfit. I picked up 2 of these about 6 weeks ago, I'd say, for $4.99 each. This one sold for $35.63. It's clothing for I guess Fisher Price. I think they're stuffed animals or dolls. Yeah, doll fashion. Excuse me. So it was vintage, I'm guessing early 80s, mid 80s, and it was still in the package, so glad to see that one go, but that was a good sale. I like that one. I like picking up vintage Fisher Price. It does sit for a little bit though, so it's not a fast seller. All right, next up, this is an action figure. Transformers Optimus Prime, Cyberverse, Ultimate Class figure. This is not new, it's from 2017. Sold for $22.06. I picked this up for $1.99. And actually, it was slightly less than $1.99. It was a giant lot of other Transformers action figures, so it may have been closer to $1. I just listed it here as $1.99, but these ones seem to go relatively well as long as they're complete. This one was actually not complete, but I actually list a lot of action figures, a lot of Transformers, and they seem to go even if they're newer, like this one from 2017. All right, next up, this is a Pearl Snap shirt. I used to sell a lot more of these back a few years back. This is just a Wrangler Southwestern Pearl Snap shirt. Sold for $20.31. Nothing fancy. Nice XLT size though, so that was a good one. Okay, this is another shirt. This was a Vineyard Body Objects shirt. It's a Rochester Big and Tall. So it's a 3XB was the size on the tag. So for $39.27, I've had this for a long time. I want to say over 18 months. And the picture is terrible, but see this one go. I've had multiple offers for this, and they just ended up not paying. But what can you say? Hopefully this one works out. All right, let's see here. Let's skip a couple of these. Let's find some clothing that's actually interesting. Okay, this is a basic vintage Sears perma pressed button-up shirt, button-down shirt, I should say. I had the stain on it too, but I just like that tag. You can tell it's vintage from that right there. I guessed that it was the 60s. I'm not exactly even sure. Sold for $16.22. I had 99 cents into this, and this is like a very basic looking shirt, nothing fancy at all. All right, next up, this is an Aaliyah baseball jersey style shirt, sold for $40.20. I had $2.99 into this. I bought this about 3 months ago, and anything music related, and if it's music / baseball related, this is vintage. Obviously, Aaliyah, artist that she passed away, I think around 20 years ago now. So that kind of stuff moves well. Okay, next up, just another basic tank top. This is a Cardi tank top. I have lots of these alcohol, drink-related shirts and other things, actually not just shirts, like holders and things like that. This sold for $31.02. It's warmer weather, so these tank tops are moving fast. All right, so more Fisher Price here. This is vintage Little People Fisher Price. It was a little truck with a ladder there, police car, baby stroller. It's kind of a mix of different items. I'm not even sure if they're part of the same set, but I've just bought them together. $42.89 out the door. I'm not even sure what I paid for this. It was from a thrift store, though. I believe it was around $5. All right, let's skip a few of these that are less interesting. All right. All right, here's another one. I don't even know who Ray LaMontagne is, but it's a concert T-shirt from 2016. Not old at all, nothing fancy. But it's a concert tee, $21.18. I pick them up if I get them for 99 cents to $1.99, unless it's someone I really know who they are, and I know it's gonna flip fast or go for a lot of money. Then I'll pick it up for a little bit more, but I try to stay under $2 for these, and this one sat for over a year, but sold for $21.18. All right, let's see here. What's nothing? Okay, this one is a basic marble figure. It's from 2010, so it's not even that old. It's Doctor Strange, 3.5-inch figure, loose, missing an accessory that may have come with. Sold for $26.11. I had about 50-something cents into this. It was part of a big lot I bought, about 18, 19 months ago, something like that. So those kind of trickle through and they sell from here to there. All right, next up, this is I don't buy very many suit type jackets. This is a vintage Pendleton Western Tweed sports blazer. Sold for $66.44. I've had this forever, over a year, maybe longer. And I know this because I don't pick up many, so if it's something that I pick up that I see all the time, I kind of get annoyed because it takes up a lot of room, and I should do more suits and that kind of stuff. I just don't like measuring them. I know that's lazy, but this one was actually pretty nice. It might have had one flaw that something, I forget what, but $66.44 out of a $2.99 purchase, and I'm happy with that. And hopefully it stays away from me, doesn't come back. Okay, so this one I've sold multiple times and they never paid for it. This is a Disney Junior PJ Masks Deluxe Headquarters playset. Sold for $127.70, but I would say more than 60% of that is in the shipping, because it's relatively big. It's like 25 inches by 25 inches by 6 inches deep. And so this one went overseas as well, but this one was not complete, and it was working. As you can see, that the lights are on, but $127.70. Like I said, though, not all of that was the price of the item. The price of the item was less than 50% of that 127. All right, so this is another piece I pick up. I always like to pick up stuff that from places that are not around anymore. So obviously West Germany is no longer a place, it's just Germany. So this is a Solingen, West Germany, Eckhart, I can't even pronounce this, for a gold-plated bottle opener. Relatively heavy piece, actually. Sold for $48.52. I've had this for over a year. Picked this up with a lot of ashtrays and some other cigarette-related paraphernalia. And I just like the fact that it has that nice tag on it and it says made in West Germany. So it's definitely older. All right, this was a weird one. This is an action figure set that I sold. The box was beaten, like it was like almost like someone jumped on the box. Big box too, 20 inches by 20 inches or so set. I've had this since Christmas time, so 6-7 months, something like that. $70.43, including shipping. Shipping was about 20 bucks or so. And I explicitly have like multiple pictures of the damage for the box. It was listed as damaged. It is in the title, the description. As soon as a person got it, they said, you know, why would you sell this to me? This is damaged. And I said, well, we clearly stated that. And they said, no, you didn't. It wasn't written anywhere. And I had to send them a screenshot of the actual listing, and they went quiet. I wasn't trying to offend them. I get it. You know, you don't read. A lot of people don't read. I don't read, especially if you look at this on a cell phone. You may not see the description little thing it has, but it was clearly stated all over the place. They didn't respond after that, and so I think they're okay. Originally, they wanted to return it, which I was fine with. I just said, go ahead, you know, use the eBay system. Go ahead and return it. We have free returns. You're well within the time frame. Go ahead and do it. And once they saw that how I had described it and how I had written multiple times that it was damaged packaging, I wrote it multiple ways. They didn't respond after that. So hopefully that did the trick. I'm not a big fan of picking up damaged items. This one was super cheap though. It was like a few dollars, and it was, if this was new, it would have gone for even more. But oh well. So this right here is a vintage Barbie negligee, it says. So it's made for an not action figure, but a doll, like a 12-inch Barbie doll. Sold for $29.89, including tax and shipping. I have tons of this stuff that sells randomly at random times for between $20, $30, $40. Usually a lot of it sells for like 10 to 15 bucks though, and it sits forever. But I have it listed already and stored already. It's so light, easy to ship, weighs less than an ounce or two or something like that. So I wouldn't bet the house on buying a ton of this, but if you see it and you get it for pennies, pick it up like I always say. All right, this was a vintage, it was a Microsoft demo, Xbox magazine demo. I got like a lot of, about 12 or 15 of these. It's all in one listing. That listing has not been touched. I think it's a bad listing for like a year, 18 months. Finally one sold for $15.18. I bought the whole lot for $3.99. So years ago. And hopefully because this one sold, the rest of them was, this is like, I have all 12 under the same listing. So hopefully it will sell. All right, next up, this is a jacket that I bought for, I want to say $20 at a thrift store about a month and a half ago. Leather jacket, and I put this picture on Instagram because, let me see, it sold for $108 plus shipping, and relatively fast, you know, about a month or so after I listed it. And I got multiple messages about a week before it sold on Depop, I think it was, because I cross-listed it there. And the guy said, you know, would you take 20 bucks? Would you take 30 bucks? I think he maybe went up to 40. And then I said, no, sorry. And his response was something like, well, you know, is this the real price? You know, is he really selling for that? Or something like that. And then my final response to him was after I took it down off Depop, and I just said, yeah. He said, oh, so are you going to take it or not? I think it said something like, no, sorry, man, it just sold. So not to dig at the guy, but I mean, he seemed very interested, but you know, wasn't willing to come up. I mean, I paid 20 for it. I wasn't going to sell it for 20. So 108 bucks. I was happy with that. All right, next up, this is Sony Watchman handheld TV. It's a black and white little TV. It was not tested. I can't even remember when I got this. It's so old. It might even be mine. I have no idea. $29.71. And it didn't have any cords or cables, and I didn't have the C batteries I think it took to test it. So this is really lazy. I should have tested it because it might have worked. But $29.71 out the door, and I don't know what I paid for this, but happy to see it go. All right, let's see if we can find any more non-clothing because I sell a lot of clothing here. All right, this is another pewter figure. It's from the same lot you might have already seen in previous videos if you ever watched those. $33.73 sold. Myth and Magic Tudor Mint Pewter figure. And these are tiny, like inch by an inch. That's about it. Very light, easy to store. Have them in a little tub. And they sell probably one a month. I've been selling them since I got them maybe 6 months ago. I'm trying to get into comic books. I just don't have the knowledge base. I don't know much about them at all. This is a comic book magazine. It says Fantastic Four, John Buscema. It was from the 80s, I think 86. I looked these up. It's called Comics Feature Magazine. Sold for $30.19. I didn't see one that had sold for more than I think 15 or 20 bucks. So I was happy with this. I had about $1 into this. I got this in a lot with a bunch of other comic books and comic book magazines and sci-fi magazines too. So this is the first one out of that lot that sold. And yeah, pretty much I've already made back my money for the lot, and the lot had like 50 or so pieces in it. So it's actually, yeah, it's less than $1 that I had into this. So I'm happy with that. Framed piece of it's artwork. It's actually hand drawn, hand sketched, vintage mallard duck framed by Sherry Russell Moline, 1986, signed and numbered, sold for $65.90. I bought 3 or 4 of these from the same artist. One sold, I don't know, a year ago. I got these a while back, and then this one sold says June 26th. So $49.88, and the rest is for shipping. So $65.90, including tax and shipping out the door. Happy with that one. This is a funny one. I don't know why I only had one barbell, 5-pound barbell, cast iron, and it sold for $18.06, a 5-pound, barbell. Dumbbell, excuse me. And it's not a big sale, but the funny part is that when I had this listed, the guy emailed me and said, is the shipping correct? And I said, yeah, it should be. And I looked at it, and I think the shipping on here was like 35 bucks or 40 bucks, something ridiculous like that, going domestically too. So he said, oh, can you do it prior? I said, yeah, I can do this. So I shipped this domestically. I mean, I still charge like, I think $8 and a padded flat rate, and plus whatever. So $18.06 out the door. Happy to see this go and go, especially because there's only one of them. So this is another vintage board game. It's similar to the past ones I've had in my other videos. Republic of Rome, Avalon Hill RPG board game. $85.85. I had probably about $8 to $10 into this one, about $10 into the whole thing. Each one in this lot. And I have that in a short on the channel if you want to check out some of the other ones that I picked up. So happy to see that these ones are trickling through. I still have to list some of them actually, so that's horrible. All right, and let's end up here. The last one for today, and then I'll let you guys go. Running up to 20 minutes here. There's a Phil Edwards rainspooner shirt. This one is old. I've had this for a while. Nothing fancy, just a floral design. $42.94 out the door. and I had about $2.99 into this. Every now and then I'll find rainspooner shirts, and you can't tell that they're rainspooner until you look at the tags look slightly different. So sometimes thrift stores don't catch them, even though these days a lot of times they're marking them at 30, 40, 50 bucks, which is ridiculous. But keep an eye out, because rainspooner has worked like a lot of brands. They kind of work with a lot of designers, a lot of different brands every now and then. So the tags don't look obviously like a rainspooner tag. So if you see that, pick it up. That is it for this week. We are going to be putting out more videos, more pre-recorded videos, hopefully, more resale what sold, more other stuff. Hopefully, if I ever get that GoPro, I'll do a thrift store, thrift with me type video. But until the next one, thanks for watching, and please like and subscribe. That would really, really help me out. Until the next one, have a good one. Bye.
Thanks for listening to the Reseller Niche Podcast. Show notes and social media links are located at resellerniche.com. Please comment, rate, and subscribe to us on iTunes or YouTube or wherever you get your podcasts.